opening up with a decent morning of trade for Indian markets. We are outperforming regional markets. Select financial names and NBFCs are looking strong, and I want to point out Rallis, and apart from Rallis, I would also like to point out Bajaj Finance, which is sitting at a record high, almost 2,400 rupees for Bajaj Finance, which is a very strong stock. The reason why NBFCs are outperforming is because money is moving out of some of the PSU banks because NPA concerns are huge. So why are NPA concerns huge at a time when economy is making a comeback? To understand that, let's connect with Mr. Pradeep Kumar, Managing Director of SBI. Mr. Kumar, good morning and thank you for joining us. What is the corporate credit demand looking like? And in Q1, the growth was quite muted, but now are things picking up? Are you getting a sense that the credit demand finally is back?
The growth looks right now looks very muted. The demand is very muted, but we are confident that we will be able to achieve the goals internally we have projected, both for the large corporate group and for the mid corporate group. Of course, the growth in the large corporate group will be slightly more than in the mid corporate group. But yes, in the first 2 quarters, I don't think we'll have much of a growth. Hopefully in Q3 and Q4, we'll be able to reach our internal targets for both the groups.
Right. So what's the restructuring pipeline looking like for large and mid corporate accounts right now?
Asset quality, from the references that are being made to the CDR and the JLS we are having, the restructuring pipeline looks slightly muted. There are not many references to CDR. Of course, there are quite a few SMA2 accounts which we have to take a call what we have to do going forward. Some of these accounts may not get referred to CDR, or there may not be need for any restructuring if the economy picks up.
Mr. Kumar, having said that, there have been a spate of frauds that have come to forefront, especially in PSU banks. So what is SBI doing to ensure that high standards of loan approvals are maintained?
You must understand frauds will happen, and one event should not be made, should not be converted into a global phenomenon. SBI has excellent standards for loan disbursals and loan appraisals. If you want to let you know, in case in the loan disbursal for large projects, we have our own LIE. We rely on the statutory auditor certification. Wherever necessary, we have a third-party certification. So I don't think there is no need to panic just because a couple of instances have happened in the banking system. I think the process followed at SBI is quite safe and secure, sound, and if necessary, we will review it.
Right, Mr. Kumar, so what's your outlook on overall asset quality of the bank, and have the pressures been reduced?
No, the pressure is still continuing. I think it will take another couple of quarters before the pressure sort of subsides.
Right. Some of the players, Mr. Kumar, have started raising infra bonds. How about SBI, and how much headroom do you have, and will you be looking to raise infra bonds this year?
We have evaluated. Right now my liquidity position is very comfortable. I have more than 5.5% excess SLR. So right now I don't think I'll go for an issue, because this will come at a higher cost than my current cost of deposits or current cost of funds. So I will wait and see. If there is a huge pickup in demand later during the year, we might consider, but as immediately there is no plans for it.
Mr. Kumar, the Reserve Bank of India has also indicated that it will review its norms on single and group entity exposures this year to align with global standards. What are your views on this, and are you in danger of breaching any exposure limits on the same?
We are well within the current limits. If RBI reviews it and brings them down, do not know how far will they bring it down. I mean, as and when the RBI releases guidelines, I think we'll have to have a roadmap. If we have to reduce exposures to certain groups, we have to have a roadmap. But as of now, I'm comfortable within the RBI prudential norms.
Mr. Kumar, how much recoveries are you expecting going forward, and what steps are you taking towards defaulters?
Recovering loans is part of our life, and different methods have to be adopted for different companies. I don't think there is a one-size-fits-all formula for recovering money. Yes, wherever there is a need to adopt slightly strong-arm tactics like this, or but be more intrusive, the banks will certainly, banks including SBI will certainly be looking at taking adequate steps to recover our exposure.
So are you planning to sell more loans to ARC this quarter too, and if yes, how much?
Yes, ARC sales will continue to be looked after, but looked into, but you know there have been recent changes in the guidelines by RBI regarding the upfront cash that has to be paid by the ARCs. So we'll have to wait and see how the ARCs react to this and their ability to increase the upfront payment from a minimum of 5 to 15.
Right, and what's your fundraising plan for this year? Are you preparing a roadmap for the same?
You are aware that we went to the overseas markets in April this year and raised $1.25 billion. We are in the process of deploying it. So I think in the immediate need, there is no need for the bank to go to the MTN borrowings. Of course, there is always a caveat. If the demand picks up, I may have to go again to the market. But at least for the next 1 quarter, I don't think there's a need to go to the MTN market or the overseas market for borrowing. As for other fundraising plans, yes, we are finalizing our capital raising plans. It is in the offing. Depending on the position of the market and the timing, we may enter it sometime during this year also.
So Mr. Kumar, appreciate your time and thank you for joining us. 158 points up for the Sensex. So again, it's turning out to be a trend day, and we are now above 7950 on the Nifty and a good 6-7 points above 7950. So let's not ignore the market action. That deserves a special mention. For the moment, the opening is turning out to be the lowest point of the day, and we are trading at the highest point of the day, and it's the Bank Nifty.